around the world and across Nigeria. If you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our main conversation for today. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a low-key celebration to mark Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary, which falls on October 1. This decision reflects the current economic challenges and hardship faced by Nigerians.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akumi, announced that this year's celebration will be modest, considering the nation's economic misfortune. This is not the first time Nigeria will be marking its independence with low-key celebrations, as last year's Democracy Day celebration on June 12 was also subdued.
The federal government has planned a simple itinerary for the 64th Independence Anniversary event, which commenced with a World Press Conference on September 26.
It's worth noting that the country is facing significant economic challenges, including a high cost of living crisis caused by President Tinubu's policies, which has affected many Nigerians.
Very true. And Tuesday is Nigeria's birthday, but it can't hold a lavish party, not because its leaders have repented from profligacy, but because they are afraid there are too many poor persons in the land. That is our topic for today, and let's kickstart our discussion and our conversation today. We have joining us virtually from Saitama in Japan, John Akirile. But of course, just before we get to him, in the studios with us is Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, a barrister at law and the public affairs commentator. Good morning to you, Barrister.
Good morning, Barrister Tunji.
Good morning, Henry. Good morning, Shoma.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so very much. So there we have our discussion today, and permit me to say happy independence to Nigeria in advance. That is, Barrister Tunji. And that's, of course, what we'll be talking about today. And I'd love you to speak on this. I know for quite some time now we've been discussing about profligacy amongst those in leadership, most importantly the ineptitude of those who have given themselves the opportunity to serve us and serve the nation. But we are celebrating 64th birthday tomorrow. The president is saying it's going to be a low-key celebration, but do you think that should even be mentioned as a topic of discussion if it's okay?
I think we're just marking, we're not celebrating. And that is why the government said it's going to be a low-key. It's marking, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. We are not supposed to celebrate. You celebrate when you succeed, when you have achieved something. What have we achieved since 64 years back? In fact, the little we have even achieved has been eroded in the last 16 or 8 years, has been taken away. So as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing to celebrate. We can only mark the date and recognize it as the Independent Day. I don't even expect a public holiday to be declared. Should be going along with our business. Then just mark that today is our birthday. When you are doing your birthday, you sit at home, you go to office and do your work. So especially when you are still struggling. So if we are struggling, we are not even, there are a lot of poverty in the land, and the government acknowledge that. And that is the reason why they say low-key. And low-key for me, I don't know. I want to see their budget for the low-key. Because with low-key to government, sometimes it can be billions of naira. And that will be low-key. It can be hundreds of millions, and that could be low-key. So I need to see the budget for the low-key for me to know whether actually it's a low-key. Because if you say you are doing your wedding, and then the wedding is going to be in the room for people like me, it's going to be a room wedding, or no, not even room wedding. I'm doing that elaborate wedding. What I would do as elaborate wedding is what some people would do as just a low-key wedding. In other words, in the parlor, and it will be more than what I did at my where I obtained what's it called?
At the conference center or something.
Yes, because the amount that will be spent, the cost of bringing DJ alone or even some other things alone may even erode my own wedding. So what is low-key is relative. And it depends on so I have to see the budget. I have to know what they want to spend for me to agree that truly it is a low-key. But for me, I don't know what we're celebrating.
Okay.
I believe we're just marking because not much progress has been achieved. And like I said, the little we have achieved has been eroded in the last 8 years.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
All right.
John
we have,
Lakerele.
yes, we have John all the way from Saitama in Japan. Good morning to you, John. I don't think he can hear us.
Okay. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, if you're saying we are just marking and we are not celebrating, and there's going to be a low key, and they believe, or it's been believed that the citizens are one of the reasons why they don't want to actually get to celebrate, because a lot of citizens are poor at this point. They've not provided some of the basic amenities. But the government a few weeks back was actually telling his ministers to come out in public and talk about some of the things they've done and not be media shy. I think that is an avenue for them to actually use it as an opportunity to tell the public what they've done and what the present government is doing.
Just before you answer that, Barrister, I think we have John. Hello, good morning to you, John. Good morning, John. Okay, I don't. Please, can you unmute if you may? We can't hear you right here in the studios.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning to everyone.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
very
you
much.
so much,
I
John.
appreciate your time. Yeah, so just before we get to you, we were discussing about a day before our independence, and of course the federal government saying it's going to be a low-key celebration. And we were actually discussing with our guest right here in the studios, Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid. So just before we get to you, John, Barrister, Choma had asked you some very important question here. Yes, I don't know. Can you rephrase
Can
that?
you please come back?
Okay. The current government is believing that because of the citizens that are poor and because of some of their policies, they are not going to celebrate and they want to do low-key celebration. But it is the same government that is saying that their ministers need to come out, go to the public and enlighten the public on some of the things they have done and are still doing, because they are not coming out to present some of the innovations or some of the good works they've done in the country.
That is not celebration. Coming out to tell us what they have done. It's not celebration. It should be a normal routine. When you are in government, you must be able to update your people. That's what they call accountability. You account to your people what you have done. But we don't see that in this country. And probably that's what the government is saying. Government is thinking that it's because the ministers are not coming up to tell us what they are doing. That's why people are not seeing it. But for me, it is not about saying it. It's about people feeling it. When people feel it, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell people that there's hardship for people to know. So because hardship is there. So it's just like with their development. You won't tell people that we now have a development and this is what I've been doing. What most of the ministers have been doing are paperwork, which does not have any consequential effect on the life of the people. And as long as there's no consequential effect on the life of the people, whatever they are doing still remain a mere policy that has not materialized. So coming to tell me I've done this, I've done that, well, I'm not seeing it. I don't see the sense in it. So for me, it does not change anything. Like I said, nobody is coming out to tell us there's poverty on the land. We all know there's poverty on the land. Even the government recognizes that. Nobody is telling us that first petroleum pump price now is 1,000 plus. We are seeing it and we know it is. So many things have been seen. So it's not about people coming out to say, now I've done this, I've done that. It's not necessary for me as far as I'm concerned. Even though I believe that most of these ministers, they are not worth it. The majority of them don't even deserve to be a minister because, with due respect, if I'm to give them a mark in percentage, say over 10, the highest for me, that the minister that will collect highest for me will be 2.5.
All right.
And they are not up to 3.
Beautiful. All right, so let's go for a quick break. It's still Enterprise Morning. Don't go anywhere.
Enterprise TV, your one-stop shop for news, programs, human angle stories, the economy, sports, and much more. We go the extra mile to bring incredible details to you. So hop on the train now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
All right, thank you so very much for being there. And if you just joined, still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Just before we went for a quick break, we were discussing a day before the celebration of a 64th anniversary for Nigeria. And we have in the studios with us Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, and joining us virtually from Japan is John Akirele. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, John.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning to our viewers all over the globe. Barrister Tunji, good morning to you. Good to see you again.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you so very much. All right, so let's get into our conversation. John, I had wanted to ask you, a couple of days back, the First Lady had unveiled the Unity fabric, which she said we're going to celebrate with the 64th birthday of Nigeria. The federal government is still calling it a low-key. So do you think that is a contradiction in itself?
I think for me, it's still a sober moment. A sober moment for me as a Nigerian. A sober moment, you go to the northern part of the country, they are languishing, still having the adverse effect of flooding. So, those in Borno right now, hearing from you that you want to do celebration on a low-key, how do you think they will feel? The so-called people who are still in abduction, who have been kidnapped for several days, months, even years, hearing that you want to celebrate independence, and they don't have their own freedom, how would they feel? You as a mother or a father to a child, a school child has been kidnapped, and up till now, you don't know the whereabouts of your child. Will you be happy hearing the kind of celebration? And so for me, it is high time our leaders understand the mood of the room. And they show that indeed they are serving the people and they feel the heat of the people. My brother, let me ask you this simple question. The state of the nation, to you as a person in the studio now, let's take your position away as a journalist. You as an individual, as a Nigerian, do you think there's anything that you can say that is worth celebrating? Even on a low-key. And so for me, if you ask the government of the day, all of the problems that pertain to flooding, they've not been able to solve all those problems. And the reason they will tell you is that they have limited funds. But yet we have some funds for low-key celebration. Are we not a joke? Are we not a joke that we don't have money for projects? We keep complaining of limited funds, but yet we still create some funds for frivolity. Then who is fooling who? Now let me ask you the same question again. I don't want you to answer me. We want to celebrate independence, and some regions of the country are not even independent. They don't have their independence yet. And so what is that thing that you are celebrating? So for me, as a Nigerian, for me, as a young person, I feel there's nothing to celebrate. And I think this is the high time our political leaders should show that soberness. That guys, I'm not happy as your president. The same way I feel your pain. The hunger in the land is so glaring, even to the blind. The blind can see the hunger in the land. Barrister Tunji was telling you that when things happen, you are saying your ministers do not blow their trumpet. My brother, I told worldwide from childhood that action speaks louder than voice. When your action comes up as a government, the people feel the action more than what you say to them. When you announce from the day one, if we got running, that subsidy is gone, the next minute, Nigerians all over the length and breadth of the country felt it. They felt it in their buying power. They felt it in the inflation. They felt it at the market price. They felt it at the full price, almost immediately. That took action. And so, if you are saying that your ministers are not, it's not about talking. When you come up with policies that are, that are people-oriented, the impact will be felt almost immediately. And please, let nobody tell me that give us time. Give us time has become a demonic phrase that should be removed from Nigeria as a country. And that was what we did when the Buhari administration is just there. Let's give about time. Let's give about time 2 years. Let's give about time 4 years. Let's give about time 8 years. And at the end of 8 years, Baba told all of us my death. So if you think Baba's death was not good for us as a country, he told us that he has done his best. And this administration still towing that line of give us time. How much should Nigerians wait? But don't forget that we give birth to children. Some have wasted 8 years of their life with these governmental policies without anything to show for it. And so we are starting to build another generation that is going to be a waste in the nearest future. And I think at this point in time, our political leaders need to put on their thinking cap, go back to their sober room and reflect on their actions, reflect on their policies. Are they people oriented? Are the people happy with us? Can we walk the streets of Lagos and Abuja and hit your chest that I'm a senator without having stones thrown at you? Can you walk freely in the streets of Akwa Ibom without your security aid, even as a senator? Will they not stone you to death? And so that is to tell you that the people are feeling the impact of what you are doing, and it's not working. Please, as Nigerians, when we tell you it's not working, ask yourself, is it working? If it's not working, go back to the drawing board and strategize. That's what we are saying.
All right.
Thank you.
Can Nigeria be great again? Yes, it can.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so very much.
Okay, Barrister Tunji, let's get back to you. Many of the youth are actually planning to be on the streets on the 1st of October, and the presidency is talking about low-key celebration. At this point, looking at us globally from the global world or from the global eye, would you say our leaders are actually listening and adhering to some of the complaints or the voices of the citizens? Because they're trying to celebrate low-key, and the citizens are trying to hit the streets on the 1st of October for the end bad governance and take back Nigeria movement.
I think the government of the day is not listening to the people. They are just doing their own program. Whatever they think they want to do is what they believe should be done, and that's what they are doing. They don't care about what people say, and that's why you see, for the past how many weeks, that when the last protest ended, have you seen them take any steps? No, there is no step being taken by them to say, look, these people complained about this issue at the last time. Let's look at it, and they also gave us ultimatum that by October 4th they will do another one. Before this October 4th, let's take these steps so that we'll be able to bring them, show them that, look, we have done this because of a complaint, we have done that because of a complaint, but they don't care. It appears they just have their own program and their own plan, and whatever they think they want to do is what they are doing. So I will not say, I'm not seeing effort or attitude of the government toward seeing what the people are seeing, or towards doing what people are asking for. I rather see them do what they think they want to do.
And what do you think would be the worst case scenario in all of this for a government that it goes in accordance to what you have so described? What do you think could be the worst case here at the end?
Unfortunately, we don't have Nigerians that can speak in one voice. When I say speak in one voice, and I'm not saying that 100% of us, all of us, must come together and free the same side, but at least majority. We are in a country where we don't have the majority going the same way. We are divided. So it's unfortunate that too, if we are able to mobilize ourselves and then ask questions from the government by way of a protest, because that is the only language this government understand. There is no other language they will not listen to you. You can see for the past 3 weeks, no step was taken. So if the protest did not take place, they won't see anything, and that's when you see, when the protest not takes place, that's when you see them running from one place to another. So as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be difficult for me to sit here and say the protest will yield a certain positive result, major positive results. I'll be, but I will see also not say that because of that we just fold our arms and then look at the government. We need to do what we can do. Those who believe in the protest and those who believe they will need they are working genuinely should come out and do and join those who are hungry. But those who are not hungry should stay in their houses, and then they blame those who are protesting. Because I listen to Nigerians, they will say what some of them are discouraged based on the fact that, look, they say the one we did last week or last year or months ago or years ago, what were the results? That they are not, that is not, it's not giving no results. But if you give up, the government will love it, because they love you when you are tired and when you are frustrated and you don't say anything again. And that's what we're pushing ourselves into. Because people are already saying that, talking that manner, that, look, we should just leave them do what they want to do. And then because this protest will not bring any result. Unfortunately, again, most of the youths who are engaged in this protest are being alleged of certain underground game of being brought up by the government. Those are still trending on social media now today, because the issue regarding NSAS, what things that happened thereafter are coming out to the open now. People have been alleged of collecting money from the government and so for me, with that, people will be discouraged to say, look, we are protesting and some people are cashing out. So and that's why I say we don't have the same or mindset or the same objective, and that's why the what's it called, the protests are not yielding results. We need to continue to do our protests, whether or not we are seeing the actual result or not. But like I said, whatever little is the protest would be, there are always what's it called, results. We may not be as huge as we want it, because the NSAS protest, as far as I'm concerned, people will say, what do we gain from it? I know we gain from it. What we gain was that at that time, what was the essence of the protest? NSAS. Do we still have NSAS today?
No.
We don't have. So as far as I'm concerned, that's an achievement.
Very beautiful. John Akeriele, I would love to ask you, because you're, of course, in the diaspora, and I would love to make some reference here, if you would permit me. The world is a global village. What we see today in Nigeria with regards to hardship is not just very peculiar to us. Let me give you a very simple example. Argentina is facing a worse situation than we are doing right about now. It got its independence on June 9, 1816. Over 200 years, 2024, they celebrated their independence as June 9. And of course, it wasn't that the complaints, of course, were there, but still, they still had a celebration. So don't you think it's equally good enough for us to celebrate, despite the fact that, of course, there's hardship in the land?
My brother, let's stop this habit of comparing ourselves with other countries. When it comes to the amount senators earn in Brazil, we don't compare.
In Argentina, actually.
Are you telling me now that the amount a senator earns in Argentina is the same as a senator earns in Nigeria? Are you telling me now that the minimum wage in Argentina is the minimum wage in Nigeria? No, let's not compare. You can only compare a country that has the same minimum wage with you. I don't think there's any country that has that minimum wage with us. So for me, if Argentina will say they want to do a low-key celebration, what is their GDP per capita? What is their ease of doing business? What is their inflation rate? What is their interest rate? Compared to our own. So somebody who has about 100 million says he wants to do a low-key celebration. You that you have 10,000, is not going to do a low-key celebration as well. It's not the same. So for me, the problem and challenges that confront us are just too enormous that we should not even have any resource for any form of celebration. As a matter of fact, the people of Nigeria should see their leaders working day and night to make sure that all of these issues are resolved, and that there is not even any time for them to celebrate, because it is not yet time for us to celebrate. And so for me, as a Nigerian, I feel that our leaders do not understand the urgency of the time that we are in presently. Security-wise, it calls for urgency. Health-wise, it calls for urgency. The brain drain in the health sector is something that is alarming, and by the time you go and have your statistics, you will see that, in fact, all of our doctors are empty. And now, when you are bringing in policies to tie those people down, and say they must stay in Nigeria for 7 years, 8 years of practice, you, the senators and leaders, the governors, how many of you go to these local hospitals before you have no headache, you have boarded a jet, flew to France, flew to London, and then I'm asking you, when you as a leader do not use your local hospitals because they are less equipped, then where is the budget for the hospitals going into?
So
the health sector, yes, how much is the budget yearly?
Yes, I wanted to ask, are you subscribing that we should scrap the celebration in its entirety? Is that what you are subscribing to?
The question I'm also asking you is, what is there for us to celebrate, even on a low key? What is there to celebrate? Tell me just one thing that we can celebrate. Just tell me one thing
Live.
that we have achieved as cause for celebration. Tell me one.
Well, some Nigerians will say we have.
You tell me one.
That's good enough to celebrate.
Thank you, John. Barrister Tinubu, we've actually talked about the problems, we've talked about the shortcomings of the sitting president and his administration. Now, if we are to suggest some of the solutions or the best way they should have actually packaged this year's celebration, how well would you communicate this to them if they could go back to the drawing table and still do something before tomorrow?
Yeah, for me, I don't think we should even package anything. What I expect the president to do is just to do a normal ritual broadcast and let everybody go on with his businesses. That's all. You tell us what you have done and give us more assurances that this is or give us a more plan as to what you want to do. That's all.
Assurance something to hold on to because
I say ritual.
Okay.
Ritual broadcast.
So don't you think that could?
Don't say it. Say something. Than they say we're celebrating. Celebrating what? At the end of the day, the celebration is about guns, what's it called, parade and other things, and that's all.
Which is a ritual.
What is the benefit of that?
It's, you see,
what is that changing? What will it change in our life? How will they add to our development? Those celebrations they want to do, those low-key celebrations they want to do.
Because what we are trying to say here basically is every country has got its ritual. Every country has got what it is known for. If we go by what you have just said now, it means that we are setting a precedent that might continue. Who knows? Possibly the next president might come and say we shouldn't even hold the independence
countries that are doing well
in the first place.
Are we in the same category with them? Argentina, when the French Argentina leader came into power at the same time with our president, what was the institution of their country? What is the situation today? If those people are celebrating, they deserve to celebrate. We don't deserve it. Because if you are having crisis when this government came in, the crisis has now been times 3, and you are celebrating. Celebrating what? Tell me what they are celebrating. Tell me the low-key celebration they are doing. Tell me what will be the value of the parade they will do at the Eagle Square. Tell me what is the value or what that they will add to the life of Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians, the dinner or whatever they will organize there after, because I know they will do that.
Yeah, but definitely.
So what value will it add to our economy? What value will it add to the people of Nigeria? So for me, as far as I'm concerned, that's why I say they should have restricted themselves to that ritual of a broadcast. That broadcast will not cost any money. Maybe no, I mean, no. That may also cost money for them. They just do the broadcast, speak your grammar, make other promises that will not be fulfilled, and go and rest. That's all. So I'm tired of this celebration key or no key or whatever. No key celebration and we'll buy as a key. Low key celebration and we'll be spending hundreds of millions. That's low key. And people at the IDP, some of them don't need up to 1 million that they will use in the celebration.
Thank you very much.
Yet we are going to celebrate and still will decide it. And they are comparing us to the country that their citizens are not going through what we are going through. When you want to celebrate, I go through our origin. If you are in your house, for example, and then you have this, you have that, you have crisis, you have this and that, and you say you want to celebrate, you must not, your children are still they are not able to pay their school fees, and you say you want to do your birthday and you celebrate. No matter how low to be, I want to do it, but it to be a low key. And yet, you are not paying your children's school fees. Yet, they're not able to eat very well. I don't, whether low key or we don't deserve any celebration as it is. That's my own position.
Okay.
All right. Just before we coast home, John, I wanted to ask you, for Nigerians, millions of them, of course, are in the diaspora. Do you think that the same thought that you have is it's a blanket thing amongst Nigerians in the diaspora? And speaking from that end of the world, what do you think Nigerians over there could do to ensure that even if it's a little, what do you think they can do to maybe contribute in ensuring that what you dream about is what we realize right here in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. There's no Nigerian in diaspora that is actually happy with the state Nigeria is as a country now. And for everybody in the diaspora, it's something that breaks our heart every morning when we hear the news about our beloved country called Nigeria. And so for me, if I were to be the president, I think this night I will summon an emergency meeting, which will be a virtual meeting, summon all state governors, summon all senators, House of Rep members, all ministers, all NDAs, directors, and agencies. And I will say to them, go back and talk to the people and give them, this October 1st broadcast should not only be from the presidency. It should cut across all stratas of leadership and say to the people what you have been doing. This is where we are. This is our bottleneck, and this is the timeline. And so with that, that will be a message that will spread across from the highest level to the lowest level, even to the grassroots. And by so doing, the people, one, they are informed about governmental policies and what government is doing. And then they have timeline. But the problem is that there's a disconnect and there's a lack of trust of the people. Do you know why? Since they've given birth to me, till now that I am in my age now, I've been hearing promises from our political class. And none of those promises have been fulfilled. For example, we will build roads for you. That has been a campaign line for over 30 years. And they are still using that same line. We will build roads. We will get you light, electricity. Till now, they are telling you they will get you light. So it shows that politicians say something, and when they get to power, they do something else. And that has been the disconnect in lack of trust. So for me, I think this independence, they should receive that independence themselves and repent of their wicked ways and acts to how they treat Nigerians and they serve Nigerians. That there will be true leaders who have integrity, who will be accountable to the people, and who will show stewardship to the people that have elected them in the position. Even though you and I know that they all know how they got into office, and that's why they don't regard the people. Before I let you go, let's also look at our electoral reform. But I'll ask you a question. Can the crop of present House of Assembly that we have, the so-called 10th Assembly, push for electoral reform, knowing fully well that most of them gain from the maladministration, from the abuse of power, from the inadequacies of these agencies? That is what brought them to power. Can they also look for the reform? Can they push for the reform to electoral reform? That's a question that you and I should be asking on Independence Day. And on that note, I'll say, God bless Nigeria and happy independence in advance.
Thank you so
John.
very much.
Let me join John before
Please, Joe.
that he's giving you an assignment that I don't He's asking the president to tell the government to go to their state and tell their people what they have done or whatever. What would they tell their people? They've done nothing. So it's difficult for them to do that. If they don't achieve it. When you have things that you have done, and people are seeing it, that's when you have to be bold to go and tell them, you can see we have done this for you. We have done that for you. What are they going to say? That is the question that they're not able to answer.
Okay.
And that's why they're going to go.
Thank you, Barrister Tinubu.
Choma, this it's very sad actually. When we have this sort of discussions and conversations every time, and we see Nigeria not moving forward, as because if you compare it to other countries of the world, how fast they are moving, supersonic things. People are going to the space and all that. We're not even talking about that. We're very concentrating on basic things that other countries have done and gone past. It's so very unfortunate if you ask me. But of course, Nigeria remains our own, and we'll continue to hope and pray that those in authority understand that the need Nigerians have is for them to do the needful, so everyone will be happy at the end of the day. Thank you so very much, John Akerele. I truly do appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure. God bless Nigeria.
Appreciate it. Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, thank you, as always, for being a very great discussant. We truly do appreciate the time, Choma. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry.
All right, so we'd love to say thank you, Nigerians, both at home and those in the diaspora. We'd love to say thank you to you for your time. We truly do appreciate you. But please do well to see us, visit us at enterprisetvnews.com, and also like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry PK.
And I'm Choma Okoye.
On behalf of the entire team, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow, rise and early. Bye-bye.
Bye.